For Mort on Family Guy, yes, Peter, let's burn down the pharmacy. That's one side of my mom. And Sal on the Jerky Boys is the other side of my mom. My shadow's always there. It's always looking to choke me. God help us. God and baby Jesus.
Here we go. Episode 4. I'm wearing shoes this episode. People kept complaining that I play with my feet during the show. I guess it annoys people. I watch the show back and I see what they mean, actually. It is kind of annoying. I start picking at my socks for some reason. It's kind of weird. But I think that's where I get all my good ideas from. I don't know. You know, we almost didn't make this episode. YouTube banned me for a week. This time for my video titled Kids and Social Media. Yeah, the one about parents who groom their kids to take selfies. They said it violates the child safety section of their community guidelines. Oh yeah? So I assume you'll be prosecuting the parents who put their kids at risk and thanking me for pointing them out to you, right? Of course you won't. No, you'll just punish me because I'm the problem. What type of drugs are they doing out in Silicon Valley? Nothing they do makes sense to anyone in the world. You notice that? You know, and it's funny how all the twerk videos, the softcore porn, street fights, drone strikes, car accident deaths, animal abuse videos, all that vile shit you can find on their platform, apparently those videos must satisfy those same guidelines that my videos violate, since there's so much of it, right? Isn't that weird? What type of community do you have where those things are okay, YouTube? Has anyone ever just typed in car accident deaths in the search bar on YouTube? Here, let's do that right now, actually. Car accident deaths. Yeah, let's go. Car accident deaths. Look at this. What do we have here? Deadly brutal car crash compilation. Women live stream fatal car accident on Facebook. Yeah, isn't this nice? Some of these have millions of views. How about let's search baby monkey torture now? How about that? Yeah, just type in baby monkey torture. Let's see what we get. Oh, look, we got a playlist with 292 videos titled Satisfying Monkey Torture. That's nice. Yeah, good thing they kept me from uploading videos. What a twisted, inconsistent, hypocritical reality these people live in. Can we just get one person who works there with actual critical thinking skills who doesn't have a political agenda to give an honest assessment to what I'm doing here? Censoring me every month doesn't benefit humanity in any way. I agree with Luke over at We Are Change, Tim Pool's buddy, when he said Joey B's videos should be played at every preschool. You're damn right they should. I also have to thank him for shouting me out on Tim's show the other day.
Sorry, I just want to kind of go off on a tangent here. If we're going to go off to entertainment, my pitch is to get someone like Tim Dillon, Ryan Long, JP Spears, Joey B. Toons, What's-Her-Face, and let's create a new kind of mad TV satirical comedy to make fun of the establishment until they're so embarrassed they don't even want to go outside.
Thank you.
That would be my pitch. I would love to see that. That's just my idea. A little brain fart I had to get out that I was kind of formulating here as you guys were talking.
Yeah.
They're all invited.
We have a budget.
I love all of those guys and girls. They do incredible work. Check them out if you're interested.
I'd actually be down for that. I'd like to do more comedy skits, actually, especially with the people he mentioned. They're all hilarious. Speaking of comedy, we got a comedy legend coming on the show today. My younger audience knows him as the voice of Mort Goldman on Family Guy. The rest of us know him as the godfather of prank phone calls, the creator of the legendary Jerky Boys, Johnny Brennan.
Doctor's office.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to speak to somebody about warts.
Go ahead.
I have warts all over my ass and genitalia, and I want to have them removed. I got warts in my everywhere. They're awful, and they're silly looking. Thank you. Can we have these taken out?
You have to make an appointment.
How does he do this now? How does he go about this?
He cuts them off. Use a knife and cut them off.
Oh my God! Would he slip with that knife and hit me somewhere else?
No.
Oh boy, he sounds very scary to me. Don't they burn them out using like hot pokers or something like that? Don't they burn them away?
Times, yeah.
Oh, so he wouldn't burn them in my ass because that would probably seal me up for good, right?
I guess so.
I can't have that. So, is he there? Let me speak to him.
with a patient right now.
Oh, God, is he burning him up?
Do you want me to have him call you?
Make him call me right away. My ass is like knobby with all these warts. I got warts all over in my ass.
What's your name?
I always rubbed them, and they would never fall off.
What's your name?
My name is Sal Rosenberg. Hello?
Hold on.
Please. Oh.
What's your number?
Oh.
What's your telephone number?
It's 212 4590, please.
What?
4590, thank you.
I wish I could get him to prank these social media creeps. If anyone could drive him nuts, it'd be him.
MTV, you hear it first.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up there, Chief? What do you say, Speed Racer? Listen, I just spoke to somebody up there before about my sandwich.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm down here to pick it up now. The fucking security guard says he knew nothing about it. I think I broke his fucking nose, Charlie. You got the sandwich up there or what now? Because I'm getting in confrontations down here all over a sandwich.
Okay, let me see if somebody knows about that, because I'm not really sure.
I spoke to that girl. Now, I hope you fuckers...
Yeah, there's only 2 girls here, so
I'll tell you what. I hope you bastards didn't eat my sandwich, because I came all the way down here for that fucking thing now.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
See, this is why Facebook doesn't have a phone number. This guy would just terrorize them all day.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'm the one who spoke to you earlier.
Oh, how you doing there, honey?
Hi.
Yeah, listen, this guy, who the hell was on the phone? He's a punk. Who is that?
Oh,
he got
I don't
a
know
little
who that
cute
is.
with me there. He got a little funny. I didn't like that. He was coming off like, I'll come down there. I'll tell you what. I'll choke him, too. All I want to know is that you bastards didn't eat my sandwich, because I'm here to pick the friggin' thing up.
See if there's a sandwich in one of these drawers.
There is.
Are you there?
Yeah, how
I
you?
got your sandwich.
Oh, thanks, honey. Do me a big favor. Just see if it smells bad. I ain't gonna come pick it up.
Okay, hold on.
These guys were fucking great, man. These guys went viral before going viral was a thing. Before all these fake YouTube pranksters, before punked crank yankers, jackass, everything. These guys paved the way for all of them. This shit was so popular back in the 90s, their prank tapes went platinum. Yeah, prank tapes, platinum records. What's so funny is if they had to deal with the internet and cancel culture back then, they would have been canceled before they even put out their first album. Anyway, Johnny just dropped the first Jerky Boys album in 25 years. I think it was 20. Yeah, I think it's about 25 years. Yeah, 25 years in the making. Johnny will be calling in later. I can't fucking wait. I grew up listening to these guys. They're legends. We're going to get into everything. Oh, and I got new t-shirts. It's an old drawing I did of a girl taking selfies with rainbow vomit shooting out of her mouth. You could get these on forbiddenclothes.com, promo code Joey10 for 10% off. Of course, people are mad I'm selling a t-shirt now. I got one guy message me on Facebook and he goes, "Don't tell me you're selling out already." Yeah, an artist selling his art on a t-shirt is selling out. Ugh, these people, man. Sometimes I like to take a glimpse into these people's lives and just go through their profile. Just see what they do. So I decided to take a look at this guy. Here he is, Eric. And I'm not going to say his last name. I'll just call him Eric the Cubicle Dweller. Yeah, guy works in a cubicle at a call center. Talk about selling out. The guy's soul's sitting in his boss's desk on top of a pile of pink slips. I always find my haters project what they are onto me. Or they're the same type of people I roast in my videos. It's usually one or the other. Eric, you punch a clock and follow orders for 8 hours doing something you'd never do in your free time. You sold out the second you took the job. Meanwhile, while you're asking permission to take a break from Mr. Beasley, I'm waking up going, what type of stupid prick am I going to make a fool of today? I know, Eric the Cubicle Dweller. And here we are. Unreal, man. These people. I have the dumbest haters. None of them ever have a point. Half of them can barely spell. They say things that have nothing to do with the video they watch, and they announce when they unfollow. I love those people. You ever see people who do that? I'm unfollowing you now. I love those people. They're like a little baby with their arms crossed, storming out of the room. Announcing you're unfollowing someone is like going in a store, not finding what you want, and then yelling, "I'm never shopping here again," in the middle of the store as people just look at you like a weirdo. Why would you do that? People are so weird, man. What else has been happening? Oh, they tried to cancel Gina Carano the other day. It kind of backfired. She's probably more popular than ever now. She actually follows me. I talked to her a little bit before she got fired from Disney. I knew it was coming, too. The bar is just so low to be canceled now. It's unreal. Yeah, she got canceled for comparing cancel culture to the early stages of Nazi Germany. Disney, of course, fires her, proving her right. But it's funny how people try to justify it as if she insinuated conservatives are treated like Jews in the Holocaust. No, she didn't. She's talking about how the government turns us against each other using the divide and conquer method. It's just funny how people want it to be more than that so they can justify her firing and avoid admitting that she's right. That's why those people are considered useful idiots to the people who pit us against each other. People will literally defend the government, the media, big pharma, and big corporations. These are the same people who grew up listening to Rage Against the Machine. Now it's rage against the people who rage against the machine. Meanwhile, we're 2 years into Cardi B's confession to drugging and robbing people, and nobody cares. Not only does no one care, she's considered empowering and brave in our country. God, our country's sick. It's ill. But you know, it's freeing seeing it for what it is. The people who need to rewrite reality and force you to accept it are miserable beyond comprehension. They're gone. Knowing there's so much people like that out there just highlights how much you have your life together. Like if you're ever down, just remind yourself there's people out there who think white paint is racist. Oh yeah, I'm not making it up. Here, CNN. I'm looking at an article referring to a study that says using white paint to paint robots is racist. Yeah, since the majority of robots are painted white, the reason must be racism. It's the only conclusion. Imagine the life of someone who comes to that conclusion. Just knowing these people exist should make you feel better about yourself. It should tell you, I'm not doing so bad. What else happened since I've been away? Oh yeah, Valentine's Day was this weekend. You know what I was thinking? Remember those little Valentine's Day cards we'd all pass to each other in elementary school? If you were a kid in the 80s or 90s, you'd remember those. They came in a box and had all your favorite cartoon characters on them with like a little message on them. The teacher would have everyone get up and pass them out to each other's desks. Anyone remember that? Yeah. Today this would probably be considered a microaggression. Now you know what people send to each other? You want to see this one? Here, look at this. Valentine. In my heart, we're never more than 6 feet apart. How romantic. What happens when I get sick? Do I get a card with a drawing of you at your house and me and mine cold and alone laying in a mountain of snot tissues? What's the caption? Feel better soon? The one who won't even go near you when you're healthy? What a swooner. Oh, I'd take a bullet for you, honey. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't even make her a grilled cheese when she had the flu. You stayed home while she shivered over the stove making chicken noodle soup for herself. Get the fuck out of here. Where's the loyalty? If your fiance sends you one of these cards, dump her. Call the wedding off. You're going to let her recite wedding vows that say, I promise to comfort him in sickness and health. Meanwhile, she won't even go near you while you're healthy. She's full of shit. She's proving it right now. The moment the shit hits the fan, she'll be nowhere to be seen. Go ahead, see for yourself. Tell her you're getting a cold. You won't see her for a week. See what she does. It's like the door test in A Bronx Tale. You ever see that movie where you lock both car doors? You know, you walk over to the passenger door side, you let your girl in, and when she gets in, see if she reaches over and unlocks the door for you. If she doesn't, she's selfish, and you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. It's a classic scene and holds true to this day. If my girl's sick, I'm getting sick with her. But we gotta lower the curve, Joey. Yeah, tell that to all the politicians and medical experts who coined that phrase, who don't even practice what they preach. Yeah, they're so worried about us. No one gives a shit about you. If they did, they wouldn't give everyone a driver's license. You know how many people die in the car every time you blink your eyes from some asshole? You think everybody's competent enough to steer a 2-ton box of metal on wheels at 65 miles an hour with our children in the car? It's a death trap. Come on, you know anyone who's ever been like, yeah, I just never could get a driver's license. I kept trying to pass the road test, never could. They give a license to everybody. You know why? Because they need us to go to work and spend money. They probably just look at it as population control. It's why they allow us to hunt deer so they don't overpopulate. They just give us all driver's licenses and go, congratulations, you passed. Go have fun now. I drove past a lady the other day weaving in and out of traffic. I pull up next to her to see what the hell's going on. She's looking up and licking the air. Yeah, licking the air. This woman had her head up, licking the air like she was licking peanut butter off someone's ball sack. It's unreal what people do when they don't think you're looking. See, what needs to happen is everyone on the road needs to identify people like this. We need to come together, box her in, move her over to the side of the road, duct tape her doors shut, call the authorities, and have her airlifted into the ocean. That'd be the end of it. But no, we got to deal with these people constantly putting us at risk. This is why I only leave the house when I have to. You can't joyride anymore. Remember that? Oh, we're just going to go for a ride. Nobody wants to do that anymore. Now, you know why? Because people are licking the fucking air. People are done. I'm telling you, they're shot. Everyone's hopped up on caffeine, some sort of medication, antidepressants. Half the people driving are either stoned, texting on their phones, drunk, doing their makeup. Who knows what they're doing? The freeway's like a raging river of people flailing around with pills, beer bottles, and cell phones flying all over the place, knocking in the logs. This is why I stay in my bunker. Jesus. Imagine if you were legally allowed to beat up stupid people. You can't talk sense into them. You can't sit someone down with an IQ of 62 and tell them what they're doing wrong. That's like having a conversation with your pet after it tears your furniture apart. There must be a way to train people with treats, like you would with a pet. I don't know, but back in the day, you really could beat some ass if you wanted to. You sort of could get away with it. And there was no computer or phone for these shitheads to hide behind. If you wanted to be anonymous, you'd have to hide in a tree or behind your house or something and just yell from there. Roll some stink bombs in a room and run, you know? But at least you had a chance of catching them. They were in your general vicinity. Now you got these little turds who live with their parents lurking on the internet, talking shit in between their jerk-off sessions on Pornhub. Ugh. It's like we're raising an entire generation of kids to become young adults without ever experiencing consequences for their shitty behavior. My dad ran into one of these kids once. Yeah, he had a friend who ran a martial arts class that invited him to stop in one day. Keep in mind, my dad looks like a mix between Elvis and Andrew Dice Clay. So when you see him walking up the street, you know it's him. His sideburns are like life-size replicas of Florida. He stopped a news broadcast once because of him. Yeah, watch this.
Only in Old Town, a lot of great energy. We're going to talk more ice skating. We actually got some people coming and skating for free right now. And if you are coming ice skating, it is buy one. Oh, hang on, Mikey. Mikey, turn around. Mike, turn around real quick. Turn around. I think Elvis is in the building. Is that Elvis? Back to you guys in the studio. I think that might actually be Elvis. Back to you guys. Quick, back to you guys.
Anyway, I get a call from him telling me his friend invited him to his martial arts class. Some kid thought he was a tough guy doing all kinds of moves on my dad while he was trying to talk to his friend. He wasn't there for that. Tried to talk to him. He wouldn't listen, so my dad just punched him right in the face. Oh, yeah, the kid couldn't believe it. Knocked him right down. That was the end of that. Talking didn't work. He tried that. So he had to do what he had to do. That's how he rolls. Like, I don't think these kids from the participation trophy generation realize that there's consequences to things. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Actually, we should call my dad, actually. Yeah, because he's going to be excited when I tell him Johnny's coming on the show today. My dad was the one who got me into all the prank calls to begin with. So I got to call him. While I'm setting that up, here's a clip of him playing Blue Suede Shoes.
Call for the money, we keep on the show. Get ready, baby, go. You can do whatever you want for my blue suede shoes. Well, it's a blue suede shoes. Blue suede shoes, baby.
Dad.
Hey, Joe. What's up?
What are you doing?
Nothing.
I was just talking about how you punched some kid at your buddy's karate class in Saugerties. Remember that?
Oh, I do. I
do. How did that go down again?
Well, the kid was a young guy, and he wanted to let me know that, you're not supposed to have old people, trying out for karate or any martial arts. Anyway, we got on the pad.
Yeah.
And we started messing around a little bit, and he gave me a kick in my lower leg, my back of my leg.
Yeah.
Pretty hard, and and down I went.
So what happened after he did that? What did you do?
Well, he kind of like apologized, because my friend looked at him and just says, it's an accident, whatever, So he did, and I just said, oh, okay. So, we go back and do it again, and he does it again. He kicks me again, hits me in the... Yeah. So I go down, man, and this time, I'm mad. I'm really pissed off about the whole thing, And I just turned around and I gave him a shot right to the left side of the kidney. I punched him as hard as I could. Yeah.
What did he do?
He just well, he looked like he was going to pass out. He turned blue, and and I just said, geez, I'm pretty sorry about that. That's what he had told me after he kicked me in the leg twice. Right. So I said, I'm pretty sorry about that, And that was the end of that.
Yeah, I would imagine. Did anyone see you do that?
Oh yeah, everybody did.
Oh, this was in front of the whole class.
Yeah. That's why I think I got a little embarrassed by it, And I said, I gotta put a stop to this kid, And, I gotta tell you, I walked away after the whole day, I kind of felt pretty good about myself, saying,
You still got it, huh?
I still got it,
Oh, that's too funny. Well, look, Dad, I gotta go. I got famous people to talk to.
Hey, are you eating?
Am I eating?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm alive. I'm staying alive.
I want to make sure that you eat.
Why? Why are you concerned about me?
I'm very concerned about you.
What?
You got all these things going on. I want to make sure that you're getting your right, the right nourishment and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm taking my vitamins and, knocking people out in the streets like you. I'm taking after you.
That's what you got to do, Joe. I'm just here to help you and make sure that everything's going smooth.
Well, thank you. Well, you're taking up a lot of my time here, so I'm gonna have to hang up on you now.
All right, I gotta go.
All right, goodbye.
Hello?
Yeah, is Eric there?
This is me.
Eric, how are you? Listen, you're the piano tuning guy, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, the butt nut. Listen, I need you to do me a favor. My fucking dog is inside the piano. He must have jumped up there and got wedged down in the fucking wires. And I need you to help me do something. I don't know shit about this tuning. Get him out of there.
I'm sorry, I can't help you right now.
Well,
I mean, your dog is stuck inside.
Yeah, he jumped inside there. He's scared of me. I'm always beating him and whatnot. I got my wife over here screaming to get the fucking dog from the piano.
Well, I am not on call like a doctor.
Well, I could really use the help there, Eric. He's wedged in there. I don't know how to get him out of there. He's snapping at me.
Where do you live?
He stripped his fucking teeth. He's snapping. He's really in bad shape.
You expect me to take your dog that's snapping and barking and biting to get him out of a piano?
Well,
I don't think.
Hey, he's a little too tough for me there, Eric. Come on, I need your help here, Fruitcake. Please.
What kind of dog is this?
He's a Rottweiler.
And you're no, I'm sorry. You'll have to call somebody else.
For Christ's sake, I can't count on you people?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Bye.
Okay.
All right, my next guest is a legend. One of my biggest influences in comedy. This guy's paved the way for all the pranksters that came after him. Prank shows, everything. He's the quintessential OG prankster. Voice of Mort Goldman on Family Guy and the creator of the legendary Jerky Boys. Fellow New Yorker Johnny Brennan. What do you say there, you silly bastard?
Hey, what's up, Joey? How's it going?
Good, my friend. This is how my dad and I talk to each other. The beginning of all our phone calls usually starts as a Jerky Boys reenactment.
It's funny. I get that a lot, man. People tell me that. People tell me that even in office buildings in New York City, if they're speaking to each other in the cubicles, they're doing, "Hey, tough guy, what's up there, sizzle chest?" All the classic Jerky Boys.
I'm sure you get that all the time. But, first things first, man, this is an honor. I don't think there was anything I laughed at harder growing up than the Jerky Boys albums. I mean, there'd be moments where I'd be sitting around with friends laughing so hard, it felt like my eyes were going to pop out of my head. I mean, I was the kid my friends would hand the phone to prank somebody. I'm telling you, I would channel Frank Rizzo on every one of those calls. We used to record on those little answering machine tapes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, man. It goes so far back. I did a record back in it had to be early 70s, where I had a phone that was just a receiver that my uncle, and by the way, my uncle was Kissel. Hello, the old guy?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I want to know if I could rent one of them yachts.
Did you say that again a little slowly?
Back in WW2, I used to be a seaman. Now I just put it all over my wife's ass.
Right, that is funny.
Yeah, I know. She don't find it too humorous at this age.
I didn't think so.
So anyway, one time somebody threw something away in his building. He lived on Charlton Street. And they threw away a receiver, just a phone handle. The old 1960s, 70 phone. And it had a little button on the side. And the little button was a volume increaser. So if you held it in, you got louder volume. So I took a pencil eraser and I taped it onto the button and taped it around so it would always be loud. And that's when I actually started recording a lot of, and I would give anything. The tape that I recorded, it never found. I never found it again. And there was some calls on there that were so amazing. But I've been looking for years. I'm still going through tapes, hoping I can come across that.
Isn't that heartbreaking? Because, the same thing for us. I lost all of our tapes, those little answer machine tapes. I mean, how could you hold on to those? They're so small, but I know the heartbreak you went through just because there's so many classic moments probably on those things, man.
Yeah, there are, because you're not doing it for anybody but yourself. You're doing it because you're being a goofball. And
it's interesting because I grew up not too far from you in Kingston. I know we were talking about it earlier before the show.
Kingston.
Yeah, man. But it's just funny because it's like, I remember hearing, I think it was off the first album, what really threw me for a loop is when you mentioned Middletown in one of your earlier calls.
Yeah.
People always love it when they hear someone mention upstate New York, because back then no one would really mention us aside from maybe Woodstock. And, I find out we have a certain brand of humor in New York, that sarcastic, dry humor. We like to bust each other's balls. Where do you think that comes from?
You know what it is with New York, like you just said? I've been a ballbuster my whole life. That's all I've ever done. Since I could walk, I was breaking people's balls, and I would always do it because I enjoyed to see the reaction or the rise that I'd get out of people by being such a dick. And it was never mean spirited, but it was always ball breaking shit. You're busting chops for no reason.
Right.
My father used to always say to my mom, he'd say, "Gloria, did you drop that stupid son of a bitch?" Like he would always insinuate that, there's something wrong with Johnny.
It's incredible. Did you ever imagine in a million years that one of your prank tapes would go platinum? up against those guys? I mean, just to think, has that ever been done? And I don't think any prank tape has gone platinum since yours.
I don't think so. I don't know. I would think not.
I don't think so.
But I think it was extraordinary because don't forget, I came out when there was no computers. I mean, there was computers, but there was no internet.
Right.
There was nothing like we have today. So the only way things were viral in my time when I came out was you'd have to physically make, you'd have to like it. You'd have to like it so much that you'd have to physically make 10, 15, or 20 copies of my tape. Yeah. And then you'd have to physically hand them to your friends, your family, and then they would have to do the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. And that the New York Times said it was the largest bootleg in history. So that just goes to show you how much people love the Jerky Boys, that they would take the time to go through all that work. Today, if you like something, you just tap your phone.
Right. I mean, I remember your tapes circulating throughout my middle school in the 90s. Kids would just start playing the tapes in class before the teacher came in. And I remember the people passing the tapes around by hand, just like you said. That's how it got shared. There was no YouTube back then. And you fast forward to 2021, if you guys were to start now, you'd have to rely on social media to get your work out there. And considering everybody's offended by everything all of a sudden, you guys would probably have been banned off of social media before you even gained traction. I mean, there's people who will look for things from decades ago and write articles about how offended they are by it today. Anything from Seinfeld to Elmer Fudd. I found one from Vice recently about you. Did you see that with the headline, "Nobody needs a new Jerky Boys record right now"?
Yeah.
You know, the guy's right and it's offended by everything. What is your take on these type of hit pieces and just people in general?
Somebody showed me that. And here's the great thing.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but see that listen, in my world, my fan base, I have millions and millions and millions of fans around the globe, around the whole world.
Right.
And they see, I have experience with this because they tried to do this to me 30 years ago. Okay. And it was Tipper Gore and Al Gore's wife. And they tried doing the same thing with me 30 years ago, but they don't realize my fan base is privy to what they're up to. My fan base knows me inside out and backwards. And when they did this 30 years ago, they took out a full center page article in, what's the paper that they sell on all the street corners? They sell in those little metal boxes. Oh, USA Today. I think it was USA Today. And they took out a giant center and the Jerky Boys are offensive to Muslims, to gays, to Jews, to they went down the list. And it sold millions of records for me. Millions of records. You know why? Because my fans know that is bullshit. That's bullshit. The Jerky Boys don't do that. I never, ever in a million years, I do anything mean-spirited to hurt people, to anything racial or racist. That's never part of the Jerky Boys. The Jerky Boys are crazy, insane characters that get themselves self-deprecating humor. They get themselves into situations that are insane.
Yep.
Here's a perfect example. So that article looked to me like it was written by just a whiny, complaining woman who just, I probably never even listened to the Jerky Boys.
No.
But I don't get it. I don't get the Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
And then goes and writes an article. Well, okay, great. Go do your thing. You get up in the morning. You get up in the morning and you're looking to be offended. And you're looking to be down your nose and you're looking to be good. Go live that life. If that's the life you want. Go live it. So she writes that article. And I believe it was only a week or two later, my record comes out. And what do you think my brand new record did? Straight to number one.
Absolutely.
Straight to number one. It sold out at Amazon. And it went straight to number one. Next thing you look on the charts, and I was like, my manager sends me an email. He says, hurry up, look at this. You're not going to believe it. Number 60, the namesake, the Jerky Boys from 30 years ago is coming up the charts. Number 60. He calls me the next day. Look at the charts. Number 12, the namesake, the Jerky Boys is number 12. The next day, number 2. Jerky Boys from all those years ago is number 2 with my brand new Jerky Boys record, number 1.
That's so awesome.
My fans do not fall for the bullshit. Like I said, if you get up in the morning and you're miserable and you're looking at, I don't like that. So you don't like it. So you're going to tell other people they shouldn't like it. Well, I have millions of fans that love my characters and my work. It's all about the characters. Sal Rosenberg is nutty as they come. Frank is Frank. That's my father. Whenever I do Frank, I'm doing my dad, how he used to yell at us as kids. But the beauty of it is, like I said, my fans are smarter than that. They don't fall for any of this bullshit. Like I said, I got plenty of experience with it. But why don't you just get up in the morning and just try looking at it beautiful? You got sun shining on your face. Get out, have a great day, and stop worrying so much, or stop worrying about what other people should. Maybe there's millions of other people who really enjoy it. Yeah, so
you're preaching to the choir.
Right. I would never, ever, ever get up in the morning and look for something that millions of people enjoy and then try to take it away from them.
Well, because they're miserable. Like you said, they're miserable.
Right. It's crazy.
And what's sad is that they're so miserable that they take these jobs where they have a platform to kind of write these hit pieces and all that, just to feel like, how sad is it that makes them feel good? They need to do that. Right.
Me personally, I don't get it. And I don't even have the time of day to even try to think about it, because it's such a miserable place to even be, to put your, I don't want my head over in that spot,
I got to say, man, do you know how excited I was when I heard you finally drop this new Jerky Boys album? You made me wait 21 years for this album. Why did you do this to me?
I know. It's true. And be honest with you, you're talking literally over 23, 24 years that I actually had to sit down and create something that does not exist in the world. So that's what I had to do with this brand new Jerky Boys record. And I have to be honest about this. I was pretty nervous. People have been asking me for decades, hey man, you got anything in the can? I was like, no, I got nothing. Everything's gone. So if you could only imagine, I mean, it was fear. I was like, holy, because I had an obligation to the record label,
right?
And to myself and to my fans. So I get up every day, I force myself, I get in the truck and I drive to the Cornwall police station in Cornwall, New York. And it's the courthouse police station, because they have a giant cell tower behind the police station. And this way I knew I wouldn't lose anything, lose any calls. And I did a few. And then I said, all right, let me see what I got. So, and then when I started listening, I said, man, some of these are better than anything I've ever done. But again, you don't get too cocky, because you never, ever know. You never know.
I listened to it the day that it came out. I mean, it's the best. I mean, it holds up with all your other classic albums. I'm just thinking out loud, that poor lady at Garbo's.
Garbo's.
Hello?
Garbo's.
Yes, who's
Hello?
this? Yes, hi, who's this?
It's Garbo's Hair Designs.
Yes, I'm looking to make an appointment. I was told that by Sandy that they have the Brazilian blowjob. Yes? Hello?
Well, they don't do that on men.
Well, Jesus, well, how else would you I don't understand what you're getting at.
I don't know what you're understanding. I don't understand you either.
Well, you tell me, you get me all excited. You keep talking about the Brazilian blowjob, and all of a sudden now they don't do it now.
Well, they don't do it on men.
Well, how else would you do it? You can't do it on a woman.
She didn't know what the hell was going on. I think that might have been my favorite track. That and Perry's Slacks.
Oh my God! You know what? I freaking love Perry.
Hello. Hey Perry, how's it going?
Okay, who's this?
This is Frank. I spoke to Tom. He said he was going to call you and square things away. Did he do it?
Nah, I don't understand what's going on here. First, you call me up and you ask me about selling some clothing.
Well, specifically, I said slacks.
Right, and I don't manufacture slacks.
Tom says to me, he says, he makes these little pipe bombs. He says they scare
wrong. I never made a bomb ever.
Oh.
Let me call Tom.
All right. Cool.
I have no understanding about anything that you're calling me about.
I understand that, but we can talk in code from here on out. I get it.
Wait a second. What are you talking about? Talking code?
Let me tell you something. This is great. Perry, he's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Pipe bombs? And I have another call. I was really busting that guy's balls. I have another call that I didn't put on the album that I might use for the next record, where he gets really irate and he's giving me F-bombs and everything else.
Yeah.
But he was great. So the album comes out and I'm being interviewed by dozens and dozens and dozens of newspapers and articles and radio stations. And one of the, I believe it was a DJ or one of the guys that was doing a Zoom with me, or so, I don't even remember. He says to me, Johnny, are you aware? He says, he's huge. I said, who? And he's like, Perry. And I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean he's huge? Yeah. And he says he's got a large underground following. I said, what does he do? I said, who? I have no idea. Somebody just gave me the number. So some guy, I think his name is Tom. I use his name in the skit. So he reached out to one of my people and said, I have a perfect person. He's got a temper, and he doesn't stop talking for nothing. And all they gave me was his name, Perry. So this guy that did this show is telling me, yeah, Johnny, he's an underground guy with skateboarding. And I said, skateboarding. And I said, oh yeah, he mentions in the skit that he made T-shirts for Scary Perry. So it was scary. And then the guy went on to tell me that he did like I guess he made appearances in B movies and things like that. And I still have really no clue what he does but he turned out to be such a great victim, because he was pissed off, and I'm bothering him, and I said, and I love when I kept hitting him with this, and Tom, man, what is Tom giving me here? Tom's giving me some bad, and I say, hey Perry, listen, all right, Tom said you were going to do this, so if you want to talk in code, let's do it. We're going to go 5,
I know,
6.
that was the best part.
Yeah.
So like, what do you mean talking in code?
Yeah,
he's getting all crazy. It's just funny,
like,
man. Go ahead.
And he's like, what the hell? What are you talking about? This is a problem. He's like, I mean, I have to be honest with you. That's one of my, I don't ever have any personal one favorite, but I love that call. I love it. When you look back at these things, you get to take them apart. And you know who did that? Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey was to this day, like one of my biggest fans. And she would literally dissect everything to see, why, how, who, what, what's going on. And it's really it's crazy interesting when I listen back, I'm like, what the heck was that? What was I thinking about? Yeah. So in that respect, that's why this stuff really is great. It just makes you feel good.
Oh, it does, man. When I put those on, I'm in another world. I mean, my favorite stuff is like we were talking about, like when you the way you confuse people, and going back to what you said about how like some of these the people that you're pranking, like they're almost characters in themselves. And I know right when I first hear the guys speak if this is going to be like a really good one, and and I could just tell if they're emotional or aggravated. I'm like, this is going to be a good one. But I gotta commend you, man, because the level of wit it takes to come up with this stuff on the spot's incredible. It's a real skill. And I wanted to ask you, do you write any of the punchlines out before you make the chord? Do you improv the entire bit?
I've been ever since the day I did this as a little kid, all the way back in the 60s. Yeah. I would just, it's almost like, if I can use an analogy, it's almost like that I have a well. It's a well. And I always pray. That's why I said to you in the beginning of this interview, it's like I always pray that well never dries up, right? Because it's this weird ability to take each and every one of my characters, and in a situation when somebody says something to me, I say this is a great time to go to the well real quick. And that's why a lot of the time it makes no sense at all. For example, if you, the guy's asking me about tomatoes,
right?
And for some reason, I'm telling him, I think I was my gay character, and I was like, these tomatoes are really, really, they're so small you can barely see them with the naked eye. And as a matter of fact, you may need a penis pump to see these damn things. And that's the kind of stuff that after I do it, or while I'm doing it, I say, like, what the hell? Where, and that's the kind of thing that I let my brain just go. And in that split second, here's another. I mean, you could do this all day long, but another one. The kid asks me, and this is the first time you ever hear Frank Rizzo compromised. He's up in a hospital bed. He just got run over by a truck in New York City. And the kid says, "Can you please? Is there a way you can give me the company name?" And as fast as the kid asked me for the company name, there's the well again. And I just said, "How the fuck am I going to give you the company name when I'm busy rolling around underneath the fucking truck?"
I love that one. I remember.
And then my brain just goes in. I can give you a few serial numbers off the gearbox. That's about it. And that's it. And that's where these things come from. And I think that's the gift. And I think that's why, I think that's why when the Jerky Boys records come out, people look for that.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, he backed over my goddamn legs. Now I'm standing here with shattered fucking legs. That's all I need.
Did you have the company name of the vehicle?
How the hell am I going to see the company name when I'm busy rolling around underneath the fucking truck?
Sir, I'm just trying to help.
Jesus Christ, you're asking me for company names and I'm laying under the fucking truck? I can give you serial numbers. That's about the best I can do for you. For Christ's sakes, the goddamn gearbox crushing me in the ground. You're asking me for the fucking the name of the business? What do I look like, a tomcat or something? A nightcrawler? Jesus Christ. Go ahead, shoot.
Okay, if I'm gonna help you.
Oh, this is funny. You're laughing now, for Christ's sake.
People look for that. They go looking for that stuff, and because they know it's improv. And now in another situation, just imagine if you put me on a stage in front of people, right? Let's say live. I don't know if that would still be there. I don't know if I don't even know if I'd be able to do that. In a situation like that. But for some reason, when I'm in this world where my eyes are closed and I'm seeing my character, and I literally, when I see these things, they're like motion pictures, little tiny motion pictures. And what I'm trying to do is make you, the listener, see the same little movie that's playing in my head. And that's always what I ever wanted to do from day one, all those years ago, is just make you see the same picture that I'm weaving down this road. And for the most part, it's worked. People see the same picture.
It's so cool, man. I mean, like, that's the thing I really admired about you is just, I'm like, this guy is so sharp and witty and on the spot. And like you said, throwing in some of those things from the well that make no sense, and just to hear the reaction to that, like, it's just, those are the funniest moments for me, is when you say stuff like that. Like, what do you think I am, a night crawler or something?
Yeah,
just these funny things you'd come out with. Just seeing how they would react to stuff. I mean, that definitely had an influence on my comedy, man. It's like, it almost takes me back to like Mad Magazine in a way, when you see stuff in like the background that didn't have anything to do with the plot. Like, those were always my funniest moments. You know, those out of place things. It's like we definitely share the same sense of humor, man. And I gotta say too, just for the younger audience that might not know, that your character Mort on Family Guy, and I'm assuming he was inspired by your character Saul from the Jerky Boys.
Right.
But what I want to know is, where did your inspiration for Saul come from?
Saul Rosenberg is completely my mom. She was probably the largest character that I've ever known in life. I always told people the joke that, normal kids, their mom comes in to wake them up for school. I'm 5 years old, 6 years old. I got to get up for school. And my mom, normal kids, their mom comes in, honey, come on, we got to get going. It's time for school. I got breakfast downstairs. And, my mom would come in and open the door and say, what are you doing in the beds? Oh, Christ, get out of the fucking beds. You got to get to school. And before she'd leave the room, she'd be like, oh, Jesus. Oh, Christ, my back. Oh, my feet. My feet hurt so bad. And I remember being a little kid. Just a little kid saying, man, that shit is golden. That is so funny. So I would what's the word? I would impersonate my mom. I would start doing, and every now and again I'd get caught doing it. My father would be like, "Hey, asshole, what are you doing?" Or my mother would hear me. My mother would hear me and whack me. But as a little kid, I knew instantly that and so I just kept on doing that voice. I'll never forget this. When my folks first bought the house in Salisbury Mills, they did things back then. It was really cool that if you did like nice Christmas displays, right? They would take pictures of the local houses back then in the 60s and take pictures, and they put your picture in the paper. So my mom, they bought these Joseph and Mary and Jesus, and you make a little manger outside and you light up the figurines and so here my mom's got a little stable and we're fixing it up, and so she's got fixing Joseph and Mary, and so here I am with Jesus, and this is where it originates from. So I just, like a little kid, I'm 5 years old, 6 years old, I just thinking I'm helping out, I take the baby Jesus and I put him in the cradle, and my mom says, Give me that. What the f is wrong with you? Your baby Jesus doesn't go in there till Christmas morning. That's the baby Jesus. What's wrong with you? And I said to myself, I was a little kid, I'm like, baby Jesus. That made such an impression on me that my mother kept screaming at me about the baby Jesus that I would later always remember how funny that made me feel. So I used it in one of my very first skits from geez, it had to be in the 70s when I do Saul's shadow, where my shadow's always there. It's always looking to choke me. And then he starts screaming his freaking head off. And he says, God help us. God and baby Jesus. God and baby Jesus, help us. And to this day, everybody loves baby Jesus. Where did you come up with that baby Jesus? So there's the story, the real story, 1966, baby Jesus.
He's always gagging me and choking me, and it's my own shadow. That's what's so scary.
You've never gone for help before?
No.
Well, I think you should seek some.
Oh, you see? Oh, God help us. God help us, Jesus. God and baby Jesus help us. He always chokes me.
When you just want to come in.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, God and baby Jesus. Could you help me?
No, I couldn't.
How did your mom react to you impersonating her? I mean, what did she say about that?
My mom was my biggest supporter. Yeah. She was the best. So for Mort on Family Guy, that's the side of my mom that was always looking. She'd be ready to throw down in 2 seconds. Literally, my mom wouldn't think twice about brawling. And that I used from Mort, because Mort, if you notice with Mort, he's more like, yes, Peter, let's burn down the pharmacy. He's more fast, more in your face. That's one side of my mom. And Sal on the Jerky Boys is the other side of my mom. Like when I told you when she woke us up in the morning. Yeah. It's like, I need to bring all my shoes and my glasses so I have them. So that's the other side. But that is my mom through and through. But she was once I started, even before, she didn't, she would always be like, why don't you stop making fun of me? My mom's the one that coined the phrase. She named the band. She named the group the Jerky Boys. Wow. Because she's the one who gave it the name. And when she said it, the record, even the guys on the phone, the record label was like, oh my God, that's it. So the Jerky Boys was coined by my mom. She said, you've been running around since she's washing the dishes. And she's like, you've been running around the house since you're a little kid doing all these dopey ass characters, and she goes, just call it the effing Jerky Boys. And that was it. So that's how it became the Jerky Boys. She also designed the third Jerky Boys 3. I was all done with the record. Cover was done. Everything was done. I just didn't have a back cover. I couldn't come up with an idea for a back cover. So I said, let me go over and say hi to Mom, have a cup of coffee. Went over to my mom's place and said, Mom, I'm stumped. I don't know. I can't come up with a back cover for 3. And she goes, why don't you just have Frank Rizzo sitting at the kitchen table, and maybe you don't see Frank's face, but you just take a shot from behind him and he's going through the classified ads.
Look at that. She's the brainchild behind this.
As soon as she said that, I was like, holy shit. I was like, holy shit! I got right on the phone with Sean Taggart. I said, Sean, we got a cover. We got the back cover. And
that is so cool, man.
Yeah, so she was a tremendous help. And then obviously when I'm making movies and stuff like that, you know, my mom just loved being there and being part of it because she took such pride in it. There was no such thing of my mom going to a doctor or a special doctor for anything, or going to a delicatessen, and then the next day, I need some autographs. So she'd always go, and she'd love to tell everybody about the Jerky Boys. So she was really something else.
That's so cool, man. And it's funny you say it because my mom's got a little soul in her. I feel like all Italian moms have a little soul in them. They worry about everything, you know?
Right.
My mom won't drive more than 20 minutes away from her house. You know that?
Well, that's what gets back to what you said earlier about New York.
Yeah.
New York, you know?
Well, look, Johnny, man, thanks for doing this. Where can everyone get the album?
You know, it's all over social media. It's iTunes, it's Amazon. You know, pretty much it's funny. I'm kind of at a little bit of a loss because these days, it's not like the old days. Remember, you know, you go to local record stores like Coconuts or Strawberries or whatever the hell their names were. But today, I mean, I know everybody knows these young, especially young ones. It's iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, if I'm getting it right. And I know it's out there everywhere on, you know, however these kids get it today. But they'll have a great time with this new record because the response that the new record is getting, I mean, for it to sell out at Amazon in just a couple of days was just incredible.
I mean, as a huge fan of you from day one, man, like this, I hold this album up next to all of your classics, man. Where could they find you on the internet too? People that want to connect with you.
I'm all over social media, Facebook / Jerky Boys Johnny, Twitter, same thing, Instagram. Also to thejerkyboys.com, thejerkyboys.com. Oh, and you know, another thing I'm doing, people are going nuts over it. I'm doing cameos. So people can actually go to Cameo and they can pick over the years, all the characters that I've done. And, you know, anything from Big Old Badass Bob the Cattle Rustler to Frank Rizzo to Mort Goldman from Family Guy. And I do cameos for people and they've been absolutely going nuts over these things. So that's it's cameo.com / Johnny Brennan. And that, just that sort of thing. And I would just want everybody to really have a great kick out of the brand new record. They're going to love it. And I'm getting so many young fans now too, that are just getting turned on because I've been out of the loop as far as records go for 25 years.
Right.
So now even the young ones are like, oh my God, there's a new Jerky Boys record out. And now this is almost like for them. You know, so it really is a cool thing.
You got to figure that all the people that grew up listening to you are showing their kids the old records,
right?
You know, and they're getting familiar with it.
Right.
It's so cool, man. And I got to say it again, man. It was an honor to talk to you. This was a real pleasure. I had a great time, man. Thanks for doing this, Johnny. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me on. Say hi to your dad for me, and I appreciate you taking the time to have me on. I really appreciate it, and I always like to leave. Just by saying always a big shout out to all the Jerky Boys fans, the diehards from years ago and all the new young fans, because without the Jerky Boys fans, there is no Jerky Boys. And I always want to reach out to the fans and say thank you very much.
Awesome, Johnny. All right, folks, we're out of here. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.